Hello?
Ms. Matthews, this is Detective Stevens with the police department. We need to discuss your past arrest.
My past arrest?
Yes, we have records.
The office buzzes with the familiar rush of a typical Monday morning. Phones ring, keyboards click, and the soft chatter of coworkers fills the air. At her desk in the far corner, Emily looks every bit the perfect employee. She stands out from everyone else with her polished appearance, calm attitude, and steady professionalism. She's the kind of person you can always rely on, the one who makes everything seem effortless. Her supervisor, Mr. Collins, watches her from across the room, an approving smile on his face. He knows he's made the right choice in hiring her. But today, there's something different, something in the air. Emily is called into Mr. Collins' office, a routine meeting she's had 100 times before. But today, he seems different. There's a shift in his gaze, a flicker of concern that she can't quite place. As she enters, he gestures to the chair across from his desk, inviting her to sit. "How are things going, Emily?" he asks, his voice steady but laced with something else, something unspoken. "Good, as always," she responds, offering a polite smile. Her eyes flicker briefly to the stack of papers on his desk. She knows something's coming. Mr. Collins pauses, folding his hands together. "You've been doing excellent work, but there's just one last thing we need to clear up before everything is final." Her heart skips a beat. "What's that?" she asks, trying to keep the unease from creeping into her voice. "A simple formality," he says, nodding to the stack of papers. "A background check. It's standard procedure, of course."
Emily, have a seat.
Thank you.
How are things going, Emily?
Good, as always.
I see. We need to talk.
Is something wrong?
You've been doing excellent work. But there's just one last thing we need to clear up before everything is final.
What's that?
A simple formality, a background check. It's standard procedure, of course.
Worried. Emily tries to push the thought away. There's no reason to worry, she tells herself. It's just a formality. But the unease lingers, clawing at her chest. She shifts in her seat, glancing at the clock on the wall. Time is moving slowly, almost too slowly. "Emily, are you all right?" Mr. Collins asks, his voice breaking through her thoughts. "Yes, of course," she says.
Emily, are you all right?
Yes, of course.
He nods, his eyes still on her, studying her closely. The moment drags on. It feels like an eternity, and she's certain he can see right through her. Later that afternoon, Emily's phone buzzes in her pocket. She pulls it out, glancing at the screen. It's from an unknown number. Hesitating for a moment, she answers. "Hello? Miss Matthews? This is Rebecca from HR. I just wanted to let you know that we've received your background check results." Her stomach drops. "I see," Emily responds, her voice shaky despite her best efforts to sound calm. "There's just one thing we need to discuss," Rebecca continues. "We found some discrepancies."
Hello?
Ms. Matthews, this is Rebecca from HR. I just wanted to let you know that we've received your background check results.
I see.
There's just one thing we need to discuss. We found some discrepancies.
The room feels colder. Emily's thoughts race. Discrepancies? Her mind flashes to the past, the secrets she's buried so deep that not even she has dared to look at them in years. She knows the implications of this. If the company finds out, everything will be over. I thought everything was in order," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. Rebecca pauses. "I'm going to need you to come in for a meeting tomorrow. It's nothing to worry about yet, but we need to clear a few things up.
I thought everything was in order.
I'm going to need you to come in for a meeting tomorrow. It's nothing to worry about yet, but we need to clear a few things up.
Emily hangs up the phone, her hands shaking. She sits still for a long moment, staring at the screen. The weight of the truth presses down on her. She's worked so hard to escape the past, but it's catching up with her. That night, Emily lies awake, staring at the ceiling. The past she's kept hidden for so long is threatening to spill into the present. Her mind spirals through the memories, the mistakes, the decisions, the people she left behind. There's no way to undo what's been done. No way to erase the mistakes. The background check? It's the key that could unlock everything she's worked to forget. Emily's past isn't what anyone thinks. She wasn't always the perfect employee. In fact, she wasn't always the perfect person. She came from a broken home, a childhood filled with neglect and lies. She made choices that led her down a dangerous path, choices that, if exposed, would destroy everything. But she's changed. She's different now. Or so she believes. But the truth has a way of finding its way to the surface, no matter how deep it's buried. The next day, Emily arrives at the HR office, her heart pounding in her chest. She's dressed sharply, but her thoughts are a jumble of fear and uncertainty. As she walks into the office, she sees Rebecca sitting behind a desk, the papers spread out in front of her. "Please, have a seat," Rebecca says, gesturing to the chair across from her. Emily sits down, her palms sweating. Rebecca looks up at her, her expression unreadable. "Emily, we've noticed that you've had some legal issues in the past. Nothing serious, but enough to raise a few questions. We just need some clarification." Emily's world tilts. Legal issues? It's worse than she thought.
Emily, we've noticed that you've had some legal issues in the past. Nothing serious, but enough to raise a few questions. We just need some clarification. Legal issues? I don't understand.
Rebecca continues, her voice calm but firm. "Back in 2012, there was an arrest related to fraud. You were charged, but never convicted. We need to know what happened." The ground beneath Emily feels like it's falling away. The past she thought was buried forever is now being dragged into the light. I made some bad decisions, Emily admits, her voice barely a whisper. But I've paid for those mistakes. I've worked hard to turn my life around. Rebecca studies her eyes softening. "We're not here to judge you, Emily. We just need to know that the past won't affect your work with us." But Emily knows that it's not just about her past. It's about her future, and whether she can keep the secrets that threaten to unravel everything. The meeting with Rebecca ends without a clear resolution. Emily leaves the HR office feeling numb, her mind reeling from the weight of what she's just shared. The walls of the office seem to close in on her, each step echoing in her ears like a heavy drumbeat. Her hands tremble as she reaches for her phone, wanting to call someone, anyone, just to hear a familiar voice. But who could she call? The one person who knew the truth that Emily had tried so desperately to bury, was miles away, living in the past she had left behind. Emily pushes the thought away, refocusing on the task at hand. She needs to fix this. She has to. But as she stands at the elevator, the door opens to reveal Mr. Collins. He steps out, his expression unreadable. For a moment, their eyes meet. There's something in his gaze, something that tells her he knows more than he's letting on. "Emily," he says, his voice calm but firm. "We need to talk." They walk together to a nearby coffee shop, the city's noise fading into the background as Emily's thoughts race. Mr. Collins orders a coffee and sits down across from her, his eyes still fixed on her. "Do you want to tell me what's really going on?" he asks, his voice quiet yet intense. "This isn't just about a background check, is it?"
Do you want to tell me what's really going on? This isn't just about a background check, is it?
Emily swallows hard. The truth burns in her chest, but she knows she can't keep running from it. She takes a deep breath, steadying herself. "I wasn't always this person," she says slowly. "I did things I'm not proud of." Her voice trembles, but she presses on. "I got into trouble years ago. I made some mistakes that I thought were behind me."
I wasn't always this person. I did things I'm not proud of. I got into trouble years ago. I made some mistakes that I thought were behind me.
Mr. Collins doesn't speak for a long moment. He simply watches her, his face unreadable. "I get it," he says finally, his voice gentle but firm. "But you're not that person anymore. And that's what matters, Emily. I don't care about your past, but I need to know you're telling me everything. You're an asset to this company, but if I find out there's more you're hiding, we're done."
Emily, I don't care about your past, but I need to know you're telling me everything. You're an asset to this company, but if I find out there's more you're hiding, we're done.
Emily feels the weight of his words settle in her chest. There's no turning back now. She knows she's walking a fine line. But for the first time, she feels the weight of the truth lift. Just a little. The next few days feel like one long nightmare. Emily can't get rid of the feeling that something is closing in on her. Every look from a coworker and every quiet conversation makes her feel like they're talking about her. In the break room, she overhears bits of gossip and notices people staring at her a little longer than usual. Has someone found out? Are they talking about her? The uncertainty slowly wears her down, and at night, she lies awake staring at the ceiling, unable to sleep. The past she thought she had escaped is starting to come back into her life. No matter how hard she tries to ignore it, the truth keeps hanging over her. Then, the call comes. The phone rings just as Emily's about to leave the office. It's an unknown number. She hesitates, then answers. "Hello? Miss Matthews, this is Detective Stevens with the police department," the voice on the other end says. "We need to discuss your past arrest. You're not in any trouble, but there are some questions we need to clear up. We've been in touch with your current employer, and we'd like to set up a meeting." Her heart stops. "What's this about?" Emily asks, trying to keep her voice steady. "There are some details that need to be sorted out. We'll explain everything when we meet."
Hello?
Ms. Matthews, this is Detective Stevens with the police department. We need to discuss your past arrest.
My past arrest?
Yes, we have records.
You're not in any trouble, but there are some questions we need to clear up. We've been in touch with your current employer, and we'd like to set up a meeting.
What's this about?
There are some details that need to be sorted out. We'll explain everything when we meet.
Emily stares at her phone, her breath shallow. The knot in her stomach tightens. She knows what this means. It's not just her job at stake anymore. Her entire future is hanging in the balance. The next day, Emily arrives at the police station, her hands slick with sweat. She's dressed in a crisp suit, trying her best to look composed, but inside, she feels like a ticking time bomb. Detective Stevens is waiting for her in a small interrogation room. He stands as she enters, offering a firm handshake. Miss Matthews, thank you for coming in. Please, have a seat.
Miss Matthews, thank you for coming in. Please, have a seat.
Emily sits, her heart pounding. The detective takes a seat across from her, folding his hands on the table. We just need to ask a few questions about your past, he says. Your background check raised some flags, and we need to clear a few things up. Emily nods, trying to keep her voice steady. I told them everything. I've been honest about my past. We're not here to judge you, Miss Matthews, the detective says, but there are details we need to verify. You were arrested in 2012, correct? She nods again, her throat dry. Yes. The detective pauses, looking at her intently. You were arrested for fraud. What exactly happened?
We just need to ask a few questions about your past. Your background check raised some flags, and we need to clear a few things up.
I told them everything. I've been honest about my past.
We're not here to judge you, Miss Matthews. But there are details we need to verify. You were arrested in 2012, correct?
Yes.
You were arrested for fraud. What are the people of it happened?
The questions come in rapid succession, each one digging deeper into the past Emily has worked so hard to bury. She tells them the truth, piece by piece, about the scam, the people involved, and how she had tried to change since then. But every word feels like a betrayal of the life she's built. The detective seems satisfied with her answers, but there's a tension in the air. Emily knows this isn't over. There's still more to be uncovered. You're free to go for now, Detective Stevens says, standing up. But we'll be in touch. As Emily leaves the police station, she feels like a weight has been lifted, but only slightly. She knows this isn't the end. The past is still haunting her. Back at work, Emily is on edge. Every day feels like a countdown. She's waiting for the other shoe to drop. The detective's call. The company's decision. But as the days pass, nothing happens. No call from HR. No further contact from the police. It's as if the world is holding its breath, waiting for her next move. She begins to wonder if maybe, just maybe, she's gotten away with it. Maybe she's done enough to prove that she's changed. But deep down, Emily knows that it's never that simple. She may have fooled everyone around her, but she hasn't fooled herself. And the truth always finds a way to surface. Emily sits at her desk, trying to focus on the task at hand. The office is busy, but the noise feels distant. Her mind is consumed with thoughts of what comes next. Will the background check result in her being fired? Or worse, arrested? She's barely able to concentrate, each email feeling like a reminder that everything could change at any moment. Just as Emily starts to feel a glimmer of hope, her phone buzzes. It's a notification from HR. Her hands tremble as she opens the message. We need to meet with you tomorrow. Please come to the HR office at 9 a.m. Her breath catches in her throat. She feels a wave of nausea. It's happening. The moment she's been dreading. The next morning, Emily enters the HR office, her heart pounding. Rebecca from HR sits behind the desk, her expression neutral. Sit down, Emily, Rebecca says, gesturing to the chair. We've received your background check results, and there are a few things we need to discuss. Emily nods, trying to keep her hands from shaking. I understand. Rebecca glances down at the papers on her desk. We found some discrepancies, as you know. But after reviewing everything, we've decided to move forward with your employment. Emily's eyes widen. You're keeping me? Rebecca smiles slightly. Yes, we believe in second chances. Just know that this is the last time we will address this. Keep doing your work well, and we won't have any problems.
We've received your background check results, and there are a few things we need to discuss. We found some discrepancies, as you know, but after reviewing everything, we've decided to move forward with your employment. You're keeping me? Yes. We believe in second chances. Just know that this is the last time we will address this. Keep doing your work well, and we won't have any problems.
Emily walks back to her desk, her mind spinning. She's been given a second chance, but the weight of the secret still presses on her. It's only a matter of time before the past catches up with her again. She sits at her desk, staring blankly at her screen. Everything feels unreal, like she escaped something for now. But the feeling of dread lingers. Her phone buzzes again. This time, it's a text from her old friend, Sarah. I heard they're moving forward with your background check. Are you okay? Emily types back quickly. I'm fine. It's all over. But deep down, she knows it's far from over. As Emily settles into her routine, she can't shake the feeling that someone is watching her. Mr. Collins keeps a closer eye on her than usual, always popping by her desk to ask about projects. His behavior is friendly, but there's something in his gaze that makes her uneasy. Is he suspicious, or is she just paranoid? One afternoon, Emily is called into a small conference room. Mr. Collins is already there, his face unreadable. I've had a conversation with HR, he says. They told me everything about your background check. Emily feels her breath catch. What exactly did they tell you? He leans forward. I think you know exactly what happened, Emily. But I'm not here to discuss the past. I'm here to give you an opportunity, a chance to prove yourself. Her mind races. What kind of opportunity? What's the catch?
I've had a conversation with HR. They told me everything about your background check.
What exactly did they tell you?
I think you know exactly what happened, Emily. But I'm not here to discuss the past.
Mr. Collins lays out a new project for Emily, one that will require her to take on more responsibility. If you succeed, your past will be forgotten. You'll be a permanent fixture here. It's tempting. It's the chance she's been waiting for. But Emily knows it's not that simple. There's always a catch. I'll take the project, she says, her voice steady. Mr. Collins smiles. Good. Show me you're the employee I thought you were. The project is intense, pushing Emily to her limits. She works late into the night, reviewing documents and preparing reports. Her mind is constantly on edge, wondering if she's doing enough to prove herself to or not. But as the deadline approaches, she feels the pressure mounting. She knows that failure isn't an option. The project is completed, and Emily submits it for review. She waits anxiously, checking her email obsessively. Her heart races when a message from Mr. Collins finally appears in her inbox. Let's meet in my office, it reads. Emily enters Mr. Collins' office, her hands clammy. He's standing by the window, looking out at the city skyline. I've reviewed your work, Emily, he says, turning to face her. And I'm impressed. You've more than earned your place here.
I've reviewed your work, Emily, and I'm impressed. You've more than earned your place here.
Relief floods through her. The weight that's been crushing her chest for days lifts, and for the first time in weeks, she feels like she can breathe. As Emily walks back to her desk, a wave of exhaustion washes over her. She's done it. She's proved herself. But the past lingers in the back of her mind, a shadow she can't escape. Later that day, her phone rings again. Another unknown number. She answers, bracing herself. "Miss Matthews," a voice says, "this is Detective Stevens again. We need to speak. There's one more thing you need to know." Her heart drops.
Hello?
Ms. Matthews, this is Detective Stevens again. We need to speak. There's one more thing you need to know.
Later that evening, Emily returns home, trying to process the events of the day. She sits down on the couch, staring at the empty space in front of her. Suddenly, there's a knock at the door. Emily hesitates. It's late. Who could it be? Her mind races with possibilities. She walks cautiously to the door, peering through the peephole. To her surprise, it's Detective Stevens. She opens the door slowly, her heart pounding. "I'm sorry to bother you at this hour, Miss Matthews, but I need a moment of your time," he says, his tone serious. Emily welcomes the detective inside, a wave of unease settling over her as she does. She gestures for him to take a seat, but he stays on his feet, his gaze carefully sweeping across the room. "I'm afraid there's been a development," Detective Stevens says, his voice calm but insistent. "We've uncovered something in your case, something that changes everything." Emily feels her stomach twist with anxiety. "What do you mean?" she murmurs, her voice almost lost. "The fraud you were involved in," he continues, "wasn't just a mistake. It was part of a much bigger operation. We've linked it to several high-profile cases that have been under investigation for years." Emily's blood runs cold. The world she's been trying to hide from is collapsing around her. "You're saying I was involved in something bigger? That's not true," she says, her voice shaky. "Miss Matthews, we're not here to accuse you, but the truth is, you've been implicated in something far more serious than you realize," Stevens responds, his expression grave.
I'm afraid there's been a development. We've uncovered something in your case, something that changes everything.
What do you mean?
The fraud you were involved in wasn't just a mistake. It was part of a much bigger operation. We've linked it to several high-profile cases that have been under investigation for years.
You're saying I was involved in something bigger?
That's Matt Trues. We're not here to accuse you, but the truth is you've been implicated in something far more serious than you realize.
Emily feels like she's drowning. The truth is unraveling faster than she can comprehend, and there's no way to stop it. Her past, the lies she's told, everything she's worked to protect, it's all coming to light. "I don't know what to say," she whispers, her voice cracking. "You don't have to say anything yet," Stephen says, "but you need to make a choice, Emily. Do you want to keep hiding, or do you want to face this head on?" The question hangs in the air, and Emily knows this is the moment that will determine her future. She can keep running from the truth, or she can confront it, no matter the consequences.
The next day, Emily calls in sick to work. She can't focus, can't think. She spends the day pacing around her apartment, replaying every choice she's ever made. It feels like everything is spiraling out of control. She thinks back to the day she first walked into the office. She was full of hope, eager to prove herself. Now, she's standing on the edge of losing it all. As the evening wears on, Emily makes a decision. She can't keep running.
She needs to face the truth. She picks up her phone and dials Mr. Collins. Mr. Collins? Emily's voice is steady, though her heart is racing. I need to meet with you. It's urgent. There's a pause on the other end of the line. Emily, I think we should have a conversation as well. Come by the office tomorrow morning.
Mr. Collins, I need to meet with you. It's urgent.
Emily, I think we should have a conversation as well. Come by the office tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
The next morning, Emily walks into the office with a newfound sense of purpose. She heads straight for Mr. Collins' office, determined to take control of the situation. When she enters, Mr. Collins is already waiting. He stands as she enters, but his expression is cautious. "Emily," he begins, "I've been meaning to talk to you about your background check. I'm not sure what's going on, but I've been hearing some things. This is your last chance to come clean." Emily swallows hard, then takes a deep breath. "There's something I need to tell you," she says, her voice low but firm. "Everything you've heard about me, it's true. I was involved in a fraud operation, but it wasn't what it seemed."
Emily, I've been meaning to talk to you about your background check. I'm not sure what's going on, but I've been hearing some things. This is your last chance to come clean.
There's something I need to tell you. Everything you've heard about me, it's true. I was involved in a fraud operation.
Mr. Collins leans forward, his face hard to read. "What do you mean?" Emily explains the full story. How she had been manipulated into the operation, how she was young and desperate, and how she had paid for her mistakes. She tells him everything, knowing that there's no turning back now. Mr. Collins listens quietly, his face expressionless. When Emily finishes, there's a long silence. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" he asks, finally, his voice colder than before. "I was scared," she admits. "I thought I could bury it, but the truth always comes out. I couldn't keep hiding anymore."
Why didn't you tell me sooner?
I was scared. I thought I could bury it. But the truth always comes out. I couldn't keep hiding anymore.
He looks at her for a long time. "I don't know what to say, Emily. This is a serious matter. We have to think about the company, the reputation. I'm not sure we can move forward." Emily's heart sinks. "So that's it? You firing me?" Mr. Collins hesitates. "I need to discuss this with HR. I'll let you know what happens next."
I don't know what to say, Emily. This is a serious matter. We have to think about the company, the reputation. I'm not sure we can move forward.
So, that's it? You're firing me?
I need to discuss this with HR. I'll let you know what happens next.
Emily spends the next few hours in a haze of dread. She knows her job could be on the line. She's done everything she can to be honest, to come clean. But is it enough? As the day drags on, she waits for an answer. Every moment feels like an eternity. Then, the call comes. Mr. Collins calls Emily into his office again, his face serious, but not as cold as before. "Emily," he says, "I've spoken with HR and the higher-ups. After careful consideration, we've decided to give you a second chance. But there are conditions. You'll be under a probationary period for the next 6 months, and if there are any further issues, you'll be let go immediately. A wave of relief washes over Emily. Thank you, she whispers, her voice shaky. But Mr. Collins isn't finished. We're trusting you. Don't make us regret this.
Emily, I've spoken with HR and the higher-ups. After careful consideration, we've decided to give you a second chance, but there are conditions. You'll be under a probationary period for the next 6 months, and if there are any further issues, you'll be let go immediately.
Thank you.
We're trusting you. Don't make us regret this.
As Emily leaves the office that day, the weight on her shoulders feels a little lighter. The truth is out. Her past is no longer a secret. But it's not over yet. She knows the consequences are still looming. Every day is a reminder that the past could come back at any moment. But for now, she's been given a second chance, and she intends to make the most of it. It's been 2 months since the meeting with Mr. Collins. Emily has worked diligently, her every move scrutinized, but her resolve stronger than ever. The probationary period is drawing to a close, and she's done everything in her power to prove herself. Her days are filled with presentations, meetings, and late-night work. But with every task she completes, she feels the weight of her past lift just a little bit more. In the quiet moments of the office, she catches herself smiling more often. Her coworkers are more relaxed around her, and even Mr. Collins seems to have softened. Still, she knows the price of her second chance is high. If she falters, everything will crumble. One morning, Emily is walking down the hallway when she runs into someone she never expected to see again. It's Sarah, her old friend from her past life, the one who had been there during the darkest days, the one who knew all the secrets. "Emily?" Sarah says, her voice filled with disbelief. "Is that really you?" Emily freezes, her heart racing. Sarah's presence stirs up memories she's tried so hard to forget. "Sarah," Emily says, forcing a smile. "What are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing," Sarah replies, her eyes narrowing slightly. "I didn't think you'd be the type to clean up so well. But I see things have changed."
Emily, is that really you? Sarah, what are you doing here? I could ask you the same thing. I didn't think you'd be the type to clean up so well. But I see things have changed.
The two women stand there, locked in an uneasy silence. Sarah's gaze is filled with questions, but Emily isn't sure she's ready to answer them all. The last time they spoke, it was under entirely different circumstances, when Emily was lost, caught in the grip of a life she couldn't escape. "I've changed," Emily says, her voice firm, though she can feel the old fear creeping up. "I'm not the person I was." Sarah studies her, her expression unreadable. "I can see that. But are you really free from your past, Emily? Or is it still haunting you?" The question hangs in the air, heavy with meaning. Emily feels the weight of it, but she refuses to let it pull her down. "I'm working on it," she says quietly. A week later, Emily finds herself facing the ultimate test. The project she's been working on, a massive client pitch, is nearing its final stage.
Everything has to be perfect. There's no room for error. The pressure is immense. Emily pores over every detail, checking and rechecking her work. Mr. Collins is watching her closely, and the weight of his gaze makes her heart race. She knows he's waiting for her to slip up, to show any sign that she's not the employee he's come to trust. But Emily is determined. She's learned the hard way that success doesn't come without sacrifice, and she's ready to give everything to this project. Everything seems to be falling into place until one fateful afternoon. Emily's phone buzzes. It's a notification from HR. Her stomach drops as she opens the message. The subject line reads, "Urgent. Background check follow-up." Her hands tremble as she reads the contents. There's been an additional discrepancy. A minor detail she thought had already been cleared up. But this new piece of information changes everything. Her past is threatening to resurface once again. Emily walks into Mr. Collins' office, her heart pounding in her chest. The anxiety that has been building all week peaks as she stands before him. "I just received a notification from HR," she says, her voice shaky. "There's been another issue with my background check. I thought it was cleared up, but it's come back again." Mr. Collins looks at her, his face unreadable. He remains silent for a long moment, then slowly stands. "You've come so far, Emily," he says, his voice calm but filled with the weight of his decision. "But we need to be transparent about everything. If there's something more, now's the time to tell me."
I just received a notification from HR. There's been another issue with my background check. I thought it was cleared up, but it's come back again.
You've come so far, Emily. But we need to be transparent about everything. If there's something more, now's the time to tell me.
Emily closes her eyes for a moment, taking a deep breath. She knows that this is the moment that will determine everything. She could lie, hide the truth, but it would be the end of everything she's worked for.
There's one more thing from my past that I never shared. It's about my involvement with a fraudulent scheme that I didn't fully understand at the time. I was young and desperate.
Mr. Collins remains silent, his eyes studying her closely. He's waiting for more. As Emily explains everything, every detail she's kept hidden for years, Mr. Collins listens in silence. The tension in the room is thick. When she's finished, she can barely bring herself to look at him. "There's more, isn't there?" he asks quietly. Emily nods. "Yes, there's always been more. But I've tried to make it right. I've been trying to prove that I can change." Mr. Collins steps toward her, his face somber. "This is bigger than I thought. You've been honest, and that's important. But this could affect more than just your position here. We have to take this to the higher-ups." The following days are filled with uncertainty. Emily's fate is now in the hands of the higher-ups. She goes through the motions at work, trying to focus, but every minute feels like an eternity. Her mind races with thoughts of what could happen next. Will they fire her? Will she face legal action? All she can do is wait. Finally, the day comes. Emily is called into Mr. Collins' office once again. Her heart is in her throat as she walks in. "I've spoken with the higher-ups," Mr. Collins says, his voice low. "After reviewing everything, they've decided to give you another chance. You've been honest, and we believe in your potential." Emily can hardly believe her ears. "You're keeping me?"
Yes, Mr. Collins says with a nod. But there are conditions. You'll be under probation for the next year. Any further issues, and you'll be let go immediately.
I've spoken with the higher-ups. After reviewing everything, they've decided to give you another chance. You've been honest, and we believe in your potential.
You're keeping me?
Yes, but there are conditions. You'll be under probation for the next year. Any further issues, and you'll be let go immediately.
Emily leaves the office that day feeling a mix of relief and exhaustion. She's been given a second chance, but she knows that the price of this redemption is high. She'll never be able to fully escape her past, but she has the chance to build something better for her future. Months pass, and Emily's life begins to take on a new rhythm. The weight of the past is still there, lingering just beneath the surface, but she's learning how to live with it. She's earned the trust of her coworkers, and though she's still under probation, there's a quiet confidence in her that wasn't there before.
The following weeks are a whirlwind of meetings, presentations, and new challenges. Emily's probationary period is nearing its end, and she can feel the pressure mounting. Mr. Collins calls her into his office one afternoon. She's ready for the worst, but he doesn't seem angry. "Emily," he begins, "I've seen the way you've worked, the way you've handled yourself. It's been impressive. We've decided to make your position permanent."
Emily, I've seen the way you've worked, the way you've handled yourself. It's been impressive. We've decided to make your position permanent.
Emily's heart skips a beat. After everything, the background checks, the secrets, the doubts, this is it. She's earned her place. "Thank you," she says, her voice steady, but filled with emotion. With the official confirmation of her permanent position, Emily begins to take more risks. She starts offering ideas in meetings, takes on projects that once seemed beyond her, and finally feels like she's part of the team. Not just the woman with a dark past, but someone who has earned her place here. The weight of her past still lingers, but it no longer defines her. One evening, as Emily is leaving the office, she notices a figure standing by the door. It's Detective Stevens. He looks up as she approaches, his face serious as always. "Miss Matthews," he says, his tone slightly softer than before. "I just wanted to make sure you're okay. We've closed the case. You're in the clear." Emily nods. She's heard the words before, but they feel different now. "I appreciate you keeping an eye on things," she says, her voice steady. "I'm moving forward. Finally." The detective studies her for a moment before nodding. "Good. You've come a long way."
Miss Matthews, I just want to make sure you're okay. We've closed the case. You're in the clear.
Oh. I appreciate you keeping an eye on things. I'm moving forward.
Good. You've come a long way.
He turns and walks away, leaving Emily standing in the stillness of the evening. For the first time, she realizes that her past no longer has the power to define her.
Just as Emily starts to settle into her routine, a new challenge arises. A major client is dissatisfied with the current direction of their project, and it's up to Emily to fix it. The pressure is immense, but for the first time, she doesn't hesitate. She throws herself into the project, working with the team to reshape the pitch and develop a new strategy. This is her moment, the one that will prove to everyone and to herself that she is truly capable. The day of the presentation arrives. Emily stands in front of the client, the room filled with tense silence as she presents her new strategy. Every word she speaks is measured, calculated, and confident.
When the client gives her a nod of approval and agrees to move forward, Emily feels a surge of triumph. She did it. She's earned their trust and her own. That night, Emily sits alone in her apartment, reflecting on how far she's come. She thinks back to the days when she felt lost, when the weight of her past was too heavy to bear. But now, she sees it all as part of the journey. Each mistake, each decision, each moment of growth. She's stronger than she's ever been. And she's not looking back. Emily stands on the balcony, looking out over the city as the sun sets. The sky is painted with hues of orange and pink, and for the first time, she feels at peace. The future is uncertain, but for the first time in a long while, she's no longer afraid. She's ready for whatever comes next. And with that, Emily steps into her new life, one where she controls her destiny, unburdened by the secrets of her past.